You come in here, watch TV, you're out quick. It's
Do you
just
spend
there's
time in
something
here?
about this room. Yeah, we do. Especially when bourbon's involved.
I could see it. You know, I don't.
That's a great collection you got over here to my left.
He knows. I don't. I've never had bourbon before.
You
And
bourbon
everybody-
guy?
I do
Yeah?
enjoy it. Maybe a little too much, but I do enjoy
What,
it.
like a couple nights a week?
Yeah.
Saturdays?
I usually one glass at the end of the night, a couple times a week. And then on the weekends too, if I finish the night off.
Everybody I know.
That's one of my faves. The
Redbreast?
Redbreast is an Irish whiskey.
Uh-huh.
And the bourbon, the Wild Turkey rare breed, that's a great buy. And you know what? Who's got really good selection at good prices is Wegmans.
Oh yeah.
Wegmans up in Montville. I'm like, I found bourbons I couldn't find anywhere else, and at a really good price.
They got a great selection over there. And those people that work that section,
Very
super
helpful.
knowledgeable.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
You know, he was a bartender for years.
There you go.
I did, yeah, in L.A.
What was it?
Not
That's
out
how I
of...
started out.
Oh, bartending?
I bartended at DJs down in Belmar, the Limelight in the city.
And
The
that's so Fogarty's.
Fatso Fogarty's, all over the place. At Hunkabunka, at Butterfields. You might remember Butterfields.
remember.
That was in.
Wasn't that down south a little bit?
No, that was just not Lodi, but the town right next to Lodi. Woodridge. That was in Woodridge.
Oh, okay.
Chicago's.
What was it
in-
like on Valley Road or something?
You know,
Because that's the main road that goes through Woodridge.
that's the main road goes north south.
Well,
right?
yeah, and Boulevard.
Right, but no, this road that it was on was in a shopping center that ran east west, so it
okay.
intersected with Boulevard.
You spent a lot of time in Belmar? Was that like
I
your...
did, yeah. So
your-
I had houses there every year. So
Yeah.
what it was is my parents, actually my grandparents had a house in Avon, so I spent the summers there, and I had other first cousins that were in Lavalette. That's why we have a house in Lavalette now. So we were like, I'm gonna end up here one of these days.
Yeah.
So I was down there just working, and I'm like, I wanted to go to the bars. I'm like, I'm just gonna apply for a job. That's I get the same, what it's like. You get to enjoy all the fun, and get paid to do it, as opposed to spending the money. So that was my motivation. So, and it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I got stuck in like the mixology scene where
Right.
every drink has like 12 ingredients.
Yes.
And then you're not really having all that much fun.
No,
'Cause
and
it's-
you're not. Again, the interactions with customers take too long.
Yeah.
For you to make any real money, like killer money. Like,
Right.
Again, this was just speed bartending.
Churn and burn.
Exactly. Just get it out as fast as you can, and make as many people as happy as you could, and it was fun.
I always envied those guys. I'd go down the shore and I'd see these guys just making vodka sodas. Just, popping
Yeah, you
open
would have
beers.
somebody come up to the bar, give me 12 Malibu Babies.
Yeah.
And line up 12 glasses, and you're like,
Yeah.
You
Easy.
juice, and bang, 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 bang.
Few $100,
So,
you're set.
Exactly. So
Ah.
it was a lot of fun. And again, I wasn't making, espresso martinis for people, or
yeah.
all that nonsense, or the cosmopolitan craze and everything else that was
Mm-hmm.
going on. So
They had some crazy
nuts.
bars down at the shore.
absolutely, DJs was nuts.
I remember
Yeah.
doing work down there for Covell Realty. I don't know him, but it was me and Paul and a bunch of big Andy Laga, and all the other contractors were big, and then Paul was the smallest one. And some girl from the Pineys came in and started to pick a fight with Paul because he was the smallest one out of all of us.
So she wasn't that stupid then.
No, she wasn't, but she was definitely related to probably everybody.
Right.
I was just talking about Bar A and DJs. I mean, I've been so removed from the Jersey Shore scene
yeah.
for 15 plus years now.
What's amazing to me is now my son is going there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like.
Yeah, it's a little
Does he
weird.
go in there and go, "Do you know Paul?"
No, I told because of the terms that I left on. I ended up leaving. I was fired because I beat the shit out of my boss.
Oh, really? Did he deserve it?
He did. His girlfriend and a couple of her girlfriends. My sister was one of the cocktail waitresses there, and she happened to go into the bathroom and was just doing her makeup, and a few girls just picked a fight with her, and it turns out it was the owner's girlfriend's friends. So after they cleared him out of the bathroom, my sister goes outside. She's yelling at my boss like, "This is bullshit, bullshit there. I didn't do anything, and your girlfriend's friends are beating me up." So then he lays hands on my sister,
Wrong.
and the problem was I saw it.
Yeah.
And it was just white. All I saw was
Reactionary.
white and went flying after him. And I'd just gotten off of work, so I'd taken my shirt off. There was a pizza place right across the street. So I'm just sitting there eating pizza, and I'm trying to like it's going to be all right. And I see it from a distance. And I just got up and running full speed and like hit him right in the chest and knocked him on the ground and just started really wailing on him.
Wow.
Cops
And
come.
well, no, the bouncers are like now hitting me, trying to get me off. One of the bouncers was like, Paul.
Yeah.
They had no idea who it was.
Yeah.
They just saw somebody come flying out of nowhere. And the guy's like, get out of here. So needless to say, that was my last day at TJ's.
Yeah.
But nothing ever came of it. So
What's the place in the middle island where the road goes this way?
well, that's down by like, are you talking about Used to Be's?
Used to Be's.
Yes.
Yeah, is that still there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the place. That's the place we would go to.
And it was, the funny part was that changed hands and it changed names over and over and over and over. And so finally somebody bought it and named it Used to Be's.
Oh, okay.
Because it was
Have you
used to
heard
be
of
this,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
used
yeah.
to be that, and used to be this.
That's
why-
fantastic.
that's why it was like, what a great
Yeah,
idea.
it's a great
and it's
idea.
been used to be now for probably the better part of 30 years.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a little bit longer than that.
you
Paul.
might be right. You might be right. Yeah. So it was crazy. It was a crazy time, but it was a lot of fun.
That's
Maybe
amazing.
too much fun if you know what I mean. So and you got to experience that. So.
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as I'd like to, though. But you guys, you down there every weekend or what?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's the one thing is if you have a vacation house somewhere, that's where you vacation.
Yeah.
And you don't go elsewhere.
No.
So,
And it doesn't matter if it rains or not.
right. So you go. Right.
Are you renting that out as well, or
Well,
how do you?
the way we did it was we had a house in Lavalette originally, and we bought the house at a very good time, and then the prices improved so well, and it was a single family house. We said we can't not sell the house because we're going to make a really good return on this house. So let's do that. We'll try and find another one. So we sell the house, and now we can't find another one, and I'm angry. Michelle knows I'm angry because this was her idea. But you know what? She was right. She was, when it comes to that stuff,
saying too
Michelle's
loudly.
always right. She really, I got to be honest. But we find something else. She's out walking my son on a rainy day, and happens to see these balloons right off of Bay Boulevard, and it ends up being the house that we eventually buy. And it was a banged up house. It was like perfect because everybody
location.
will walk in. We all walk in on the open house. Everybody else walks in, and they're like, ooh, 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 and I'm thinking, oh, you know.
Well, they don't know what you know.
Right.
Potential,
So I'm thinking
potential,
this
yeah.
is going to be great. So that's how that turned out. And it's a 2-family.
Yeah.
So
Right down the
there's
street
a
from the
4-bedroom
marina.
side and there's a 2-bedroom side.
Yeah.
So when our kids were young, it was great. We would stay in the apartment with 2 bedrooms. You know, the kids are in one and we're in the other. And it wasn't until they became like, now they're approaching teenage years and we're like, can't really have them. And so we switched it back. So we kept the 4-bedroom side, rented the 2-bedroom side.
Perfect.
And we continue to do that. So
It's great.
Yeah.
It's such a great place. I have such good memories going there.
absolutely.
I don't know how many years did we? 3,
we did it for
maybe
quite a few
2,
years.
3, 4. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Something
we-
in that range.
But it's fond memories.
Oh, the best.
Yeah.
The absolute
That's where you
best.
had me jumping off the fireplace during the Olympics.
Oh, that's right. That's right. There's an old video of you. Yeah.
Jump
Well, I was
off the
standing on the
fire.
hearth.
You-
and I
you
maybe
jumped
if I
6
jumped
inches,
Off,
yeah.
I jumped 6 inches off. This is what it looks
Was
like.
was it a dismount or something?
Yes, it was a
That's
distance.
exactly what it was. Yeah, but like endless, like late into the night ping pong tournaments.
Yeah.
Beer pong tournaments.
That's
you know,
great.
a little bit of that.
Well, you can tell them that now.
I could tell you that now, but I was, yeah, I was probably younger than your daughter at the time. But great place, just incredible memories, great location,
Yep.
just the best. But this house is, you were saying that this was one of the original.
This is one of the
most
original
untouched-
houses. We're the 3rd owner of this house.
And
This
how
house
old
was
the house?
built in 1893.
Okay.
So the first person, Mrs. Mosier, who owned all of this property here, there's a street right over there. It's called Mosier Place.
yeah.
It's named after her.
Yeah.
The Mosier family. But this was the farmhouse, and this was all farmland, and obviously sold off in sections at a time. And another family bought this house. This is 98, I think. We're here since 98. So
Wow. When did you start work?
on the house.
Yeah, when did we start working?
Almost immediately, Mike. Because if you recall, Michelle was pregnant, so we had to kind of hurry things up. So in here right away, I mean, the first, because it was really, everything was super dated. There was an avocado bathroom, there was a pink bathroom, there was a harvest gold bathroom. The kitchen appliances were all avocado, which is kind of wild because all that
coming
crap
back.
is coming back.
Yeah.
If you'd have told me a few years ago that those colors, the harvest golds and the pinks, and
That's right.
that they would come back, I told you, you're out of your mind. You'll never see it.
Harvest gold, avocado green.
Yes.
Those are the choices you have
Yes.
for appliances.
Yes.
And your ceilings are this thick.
Yes.
You know, you've got 2x10s, which are back then were really 2x10s.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, everything here is true dimensional lumber as you know it. So if it's a 2x4, it's a 2x4. And if it is, you know,
With sheetrock on top of it and then
Yeah.
something else. I remember trying to cut the smoke detectors in.
right. And
this is
on
stupid.
every framing member, both inside and outside, like there's no insulation in this house.
Oh.
Except for the new area that we've done, the addition we've done.
Yeah.
But what they did was they had 1-inch tongue and groove board on both the outside and the inside. And it created, I don't know how, I don't really know how that kind of works, but it created a great insulating layer. And so this, again, there's no insulation in any of this. And it stays warm as can be in this house. So you're pretty wild.
Wow.
And when the top floor, there's 2 bedrooms upstairs. The top, that's where my son stays. 2 bedrooms up there with a bathroom on the 3rd floor, if you will. When we first bought it, it was completely open end to end. You know, we thought to ourselves, like, all right, what do we do with this? You know, I mean, because at the time there was already 4 bedrooms in the house. We have to do something with this space. So, like I said, decided to turn it into that. But at one point, I'm looking at because those framing members and the one by is all exposed. You can see all of it. And I'm like, it's all black. I didn't understand why it was black. And you go over to it and I start scraping, like, it's burnt. And I'm thinking, was there a fire in here? And then I remove some of the boards and it's burnt on the outside one as well. And what it turns out was, whoever built this house recovered all the lumber from something else that had burned down. Because like on some of the framing members, when we had the walls off, the lath marks are going the wrong way. Like lath marks should be horizontal on any of the framing members you see, because that's what it's nailed to. And then the plaster hits in between the lath and creates a little mark. And they should typically be horizontal. But on certain ones, they were vertical. And I'm like, holy crap, this is all from somewhere else.
Wow.
And there used to be an old garage here. That was
I remember that. It was over there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the foundation for it was 4 giant boulders. So each corner was on a boulder.
No way.
It was wild. And then some of the wood on there, one of the pieces of wood had 1876 engraved on it, and we saved that. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
You know the name George Hamlin at all? He was a fireman in Hillsdale, but everybody knew him. We wired his house. He had a big renovation, but he had a Sears house. And back then, Sears you could buy a house at Sears.
Sears
catalog.
Sucker House.
They'd put it on a skid
Yeah.
and send it to you. And the
It
roof,
would come in on the railroad.
Wow.
yeah, and the roof was made out of the skids that
Is that right?
that the house was shipped on.
And think about how you're talking hundreds, thousands of those houses were shipped, made somewhere else.
And that's
and
all
shipped.
spruce. That's all
Yeah.
hard stuff.
And now it's kind of coming back around with like you can buy a house on Amazon now and
Exactly.
get it like in sections sent
Yep.
to you.
Yeah.
Takes a day to put up. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Those
is.
tiny homes.
2 days.
Those tiny homes.
Yep.
I was down in, what'd you say? Oh, 2 days, yeah. But I was down in Atlanta in right where they shoot a lot of the Marvel movies. There's this whole stretch of land down there so there's like a little Hollywood down there. And it's just growing and, you know, all this energy and commerce is going on. And it's all tiny homes. And they're
That's
expensive.
wild.
And they're nice.
Yeah.
But they're tiny.
But you have to be disciplined with yourself not to fill them up.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, in areas of the country where the weather's nice, nothing wrong with that, because most of your time is going to be spent outside anyway. It's Michelle's sister lived in Corona del Mar out in California, and her house, for their first house, was tiny, and a lot of the other houses were tiny too, but it didn't matter.
Is that
'Cause
the attorney?
What's that?
Is that the attorney?
No, this is
Is she the one that-
works for Hewlett Packard.
Is that the one with the gummy story when she thought it was candy and she
Yes.
I think I've heard this story.
Yes.
That's an epic story.
She's like, well, how many? I think she's.
It was
she's
juicy
like,
fruits or something.
and she's like popping them like they're like they're red dots or whatever, or Swedish fish.
Yeah.
One after another. She's like, oh, I don't feel so good.
And she called you, Michelle from
She
there.
called Michelle. What do I do? She's like, you're an idiot.
She's laughing over the phone.
Oh my god.
I would relate to that. I mean, it's an awful story, and it sounds unbelievable, but it's actually true. I tried my hand at stand-up comedy like 10 years ago,
Okay.
and
Give you a lot of credit for that.
well, thank you. I was a lot more risky at 28, I guess, but I'd booked an open mic, so it was just you just go and you had 10 minutes, you could do whatever you want and say whatever you want, and I had like a few weeks. I prepped all this material, and I go to this birthday party in Brentwood, and on my way out, I only stayed for a short time because I had to get over to the club. And on my way out, I grabbed a brownie. And I didn't think anything of it. Like I saw them there. They looked delicious. They were homemade. I picked one up and I had it for the ride out to the club. And the event was like, the show was maybe 2 or 3 hours later. So I wanted to get there early, prep, meet my partner there, who we were doing it together. And I started feeling really weird, and he was like, you're getting cold feet, like,
Yeah, right. You nervous?
what are you doing? Like,
Right.
like this
He
is a
doesn't
rookie
get
move.
cold feet, though.
Yeah, so I was like, I was gung ho. I was ready to do this thing, but I was still feeling. I was like, hey, I'm not feeling good. I feel a little sick. He goes, just use it. Just like, you booked this thing. I'm relying on you. We had
Right.
like a
There you go. Use it. Right.
yeah. So, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until like literally right before I was about to go on stage.
At the moment of realization.
The moment, and I get on stage, I had like 5 jokes ready to go, and everything. The room is like there's it's tunneling, right? Everyone's faces are blending into like this
Oh my god.
amorphous, like it's just a sea of colors. I don't know what's going on. I say one joke, it doesn't quite land. I know I have 4 more to go. I say half of the second joke, and I just forget. Everything stops.
Oh my god.
The words stop. My brain stops. I'm standing there frozen in front of probably like 60 or 70 people. And I literally everything stops. The host comes out. He just starts razzing on me. And I don't even know what he said, but I know it was embarrassing because everyone was laughing. And I had to I gave him the mic, all nervous.
Oh my god.
And everyone's pretty much pointing and laughing at me.
Oh.
And I walk off the stage.
And was somebody filming this?
Wounded soldier. Actually, I had a friend there who was filming it. And
Had to be tough to watch it back.
well, exactly. But he's like this digital pack rat. He films everything every day.
Right.
And I begged him. I said, please just get rid of that. Like delete
Right.
that footage forever.
Right.
And he was like, he goes, I never ever delete anything, but because of this, because of how this demeanor you
Right.
have,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to get rid of it.
Oh, that was.
And I was like, well, thank you. But it's a horrible memory I have tucked away.
Absolutely.
Absolutely horrific.
That's one of those memories that could wake you up in the middle of the
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, I've gotten over it to an extent, but those first few years, I'd wake up embarrassed, like in the middle of the night. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine you being embarrassed.
It was one of those things. It was absolutely horrible.
And this is how long ago?
Oh, this is about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I was, I don't know. I met some people out at a bar once and they're like, you're kind of funny. We should do some comedy together. This guy, he was like this Mexican dude. He goes, you're white, I'm Mexican. We can make it a race thing. It'll be fun. I was like, that sounds cool. And we had something going. But then I was done after that. I said,
Right.
no more.
Yeah, it was
I'm totally discouraged. Yeah.
through no fault of your own.
Yeah, I tried.
Kind of stinks.
I tried. Yeah, I can't do
Your
it.
father, he could be a stand-up comedian.
I think so. Like,
You know what? With me, I can't prepare for it. I have to have a conversation with somebody, and one word
Sure.
triggers it.
You're good off the cuff guy.
Yeah. You know, it's,
improv.
yeah. Somebody's got to say something to me, and I'll just run with it.
You do well with like Second City or those improv troops that
Like that guy
all
the
go
other-
into SNL.
Oh, like that guy the other day, Ken Sundberg,
Oh yeah,
the ex-probation officer.
yeah.
I ran with that.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about your career and how you got into the trades. And
I am all over the place when
Yeah.
it comes to, as my family comes from, they were all tradesmen. My father was started as a bricklayer, uncles that are bricklayers and carpenters and such. So, like my father, and he built his own house. He got the property from his father-in-law, and he, along with my, uncles and cousins and stuff, were all built the house. Because again, some of them were plumbers, and some of them were masons, and some of them were carpenters and such, and electricians. So I think whether I like it or not, I think it was in my blood, and I didn't really come to this early. Like,
No, you didn't.
no, it was kind of later because there was always something else going on. Like even when I was in college, like I went to Rutgers and I lived in a fraternity, and one semester I couldn't really pay for my room and board at the fraternity, but we had a third floor bathroom that was in a bad state of repair.
I can imagine what that looked like.
So I said, tell you what, I'll fix up the bathroom in return for my room and board for the semester. So like there was always something I was doing like that was related to this, no matter what I was doing. Like if I was bartending or whatever, if I could pick up some work here and there, I did. Anything to make a couple of bucks. And then the salon came along, and at the time,
That's when I met you.
yeah, when the salon came along, because Michelle's the salon she used to have was in the Westwood Racquetball Club, in the basement of the Racquetball Club, and then I think the Racquetball Club sold. And there was a new sheriff in town when it came to ownership, and he was like, "We're doubling your rent." And I'm like, "Oh boy, we got to get out of here." So we knew what we would be paying in rent, and I said, "Well, if we can afford that, then we can afford a house." So we found that old house in Woodcliff Lake that we turned into the salon.
House in Woodcliff? Oh, that one.
Yeah,
I'm
which
thinking
is
of
the
the house
current-
you moved to
current
in
office.
Park Ridge.
No,
and
yeah,
Berthoud.
well, the same similar story with Park Ridge, how we got from Park Ridge to here, on the residential side. You know what I mean? It was always buying something, fixing it up, and then flipping it to something else. Literally everything we've done has been like that.
I've been part
Wow.
of that flip too.
Yeah.
Each time.
You have you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You work on the Bergenfield house with us? You did. You were the electrician
Yeah.
in that house.
Yeah.
So, and what else? We did another one in.
That's.
We did two in Bergenfield.
I got stuck in the crawl space in the attic because I think I just had my hip replaced. I was able to get in, but I couldn't get out.
Oh no.
And it took a while for me to get out because I just don't bend the way. Well, back then, even then, I couldn't bend.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was bad up there.
Yeah.
It was bad in that house. So the what was I saying? When it came to the salon, so we get this old building there was a what do they call it? A horoscope type person, the astrologist.
Oh, yeah.
was in the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the town couldn't wait for us to get in there and do something
course.
different. So we put the parking lot in, but we worked nonstop for 6 months to get it to bring it back to life, and that's the reason we actually got the house, because there were two people bidding on the house, ourselves and someone else, and the other person was going to knock it down, and we said we're going to bring it back to life,
And that's what the
rehab
town
it.
wanted too.
And they literally took our offer, which was less money, because of that. So and just did that. So
That's great.
Yeah, it was good. So and that was 95.
Uh-huh.
So here we are, 31 years later.
I remember getting haircut by your wife in the basement of the racquetball club.
There you go.
It
That's
was called Hair's Your Racket.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah, here's our racket.
Hair's Your Racket.
It was my first ever haircut.
There you go. Crazy. Then
Yeah.
think about how long ago that was.
Yeah.
remember that.
That is
First ever.
30. That could be 40 years ago.
Almost.
How old are you?
38.
38. So
Yeah.
it's 35 years ago.
Something
probably.
like that.
3-4
Yeah,
years
give
old.
or
Usually
take.
first haircut, right?
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I remember clear as day because you used to go and just wreak havoc on the courts there.
Yeah.
In your 40 and older league.
Oh,
You
they
do
were
40 and older.
they didn't
racquetball?
do ages thing. They just
Oh,
did, divisions.
Conflating
A, B,
things.
C, D.
okay.
I'll tell you one thing though, that was kind of a real meeting place, that
Yeah.
racquetball club.
Like a social
'Cause
club.
everybody went there.
I just did work at. Remember Dee Dee? Dee Dee
No.
DeGraw. She was the pro.
What's the
one of
last
pros yet. Well, back then it was DeGraw, and then she married this guy Frank Russo. yeah, I remember showing up late we had like a round robin every Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I go walking down the stairs, and everybody, I think they had it planned. Everybody was there before me. Like 15 people are all sitting in those chairs by the big glass court.
Right.
And they're all turning around. They all turn around at the same time. They're all wearing glasses, nose, and mustache. every single one of them.
That's great.
That was the best compliment I ever could have gotten.
There you go.
Why did they do that?
Because it's me.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't even Halloween.
Well, see the kind of impact you have on people. Everybody loves you, Mike. So.
Speaking of glasses, do you have those because you have those?
Oh,
No, I got
Mike
these.
got you first, I think.
Yeah, I got them first. He got them. I got
Those
these.
separate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
I think that's the first thing I put on every day,
It's functional.
right after
Absolutely.
a smile.
Like literally, once the day starts, these are on and they don't come off.
It's great.
And John
So,
Prout,
Yeah.
you haven't met him yet, but he's the one that turned me on to him.
Yeah.
They're great.
You know, when we got here this morning, or not this morning, earlier, an hour ago, so you were making some comments about some of the things that we talk about and how cool it is that we shed light on some of these topics, because it's true, the amount of people that retire far outweighs the amount of people replenishing them.
Yeah.
And
At an alarming rate.
and it's like sometimes it makes me question, like,
Who's going to do the work?
not only that, should I have taken an interest in what you did, way earlier? It's like,
But you are pretty
never
handy.
know. You never know.
Garrett's
don't.
handy. Even Arlen worked with me.
I'm not as handy as Garrett, but
Yeah, well, Garrett has no choice but to be handy.
how about your son?
Let's say we tried to involve him as much as we could, especially like when we were doing the house flips and stuff. If I could get him involved in that, again, I wanted the kids to enjoy as much as they could about being kids, participating in every sport they wanted to participate in, and be able to support them in that. And like just like your father, like your dad was involved in it on the coaching end while you were enjoying the sport itself, right?
Yeah.
I wanted the same thing. It was a great thing for me growing up, playing sports, and what it did for me and the people that I met and the confidence it gives you to be able to, make that available to my own kids was very important to me. And so, this business and doing this job kind of lends itself to that, because you do, for the most part, make your own schedule, right? So, and I think sometimes that's what's important about you highlighting some of this, is the fact that a lot of things are possible in this industry. Like all things are possible, meaning, in other words, the personal life that you can have. And because again, yes, you're going to work long and hard days at times, and some days are going to be 12 or 16 hours. They're going to be like that, but that's not every day.
And and you probably never missed a game or a school function or anything.
It was one of us or the other. If I couldn't make it, Michelle was definitely there. The idea was for both of us to be there.
Yeah.
But if we couldn't, one of us was always there. And that continued. Mackenzie is a college athlete now. She plays 2 sports in college and played a third in high school, and was actually recruited by Columbia University to play that sport, and turned that down to go play.
way.
Yeah, to go play somewhere else. So we gave, when I tell you, we gave him every opportunity. So it was, at first it was football, then, baseball, football, baseball, basketball, football, basketball, baseball, in that order. And then, my son comes to me, and I always loved baseball, and I coached all of him and all of his friends. And he came to me in like the 5th grade. He's like, "Dad, I don't want to play baseball anymore." And I was like, "Okay." I had to kind of take a breath for a second. I was like, "Okay, so what do you want to do?" Because there was no option to do nothing.
Sure.
He said, "I want to play lacrosse." Okay, fine. You want so then it was time to learn everything I could about lacrosse. So
Yeah.
Did you ever referee in a lacrosse game?
I have. I referee now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I do football. I do football refereeing.
Still do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
high school.
fun.
Yeah.
That's a
Just
lot of
did the
fun.
7-on-7 for down at Rutgers Stadium.
And you got picked to do the state game, right?
Yeah.
Too, right?
We've done state finals now with really good games.
At MetLife?
We had at Rutgers Stadium.
At
SHI.
Rutgers?
Half of them are played at Rutgers Stadium. The other half are played at SHI. So I haven't got to Giant Stadium yet.
Wow.
I'm hoping that maybe this year is the year we get to Giant Stadium. So, but it's important.
Yeah, I never missed any of Arlen's volleyball games. I remember I went to one in Wayne Hills. Actually, her friend, growing up, best friend, had moved to Wayne, and she was playing against her. Wow. And I'm the only parent in the stand. and the coach from Westwood. It's 4:00 in the
I get it.
afternoon out in
Yeah.
Wayne. Who's going to make it? So I had the ability, the flexibility to get there. And Arlen's coach was an ex-Marine, and he was always screaming and yelling. And finally, the ref calls timeout. He comes over and he goes to the coach. He goes, "Another word out of you, and you're gone." And that goes for your fans too. I'm sitting there,
I didn't say anything.
just me. No, I was just as glad
you
as
were
he
just
was.
as fun. That goes for your fan too. That's great.
No, it's true. Growing up, I always saw you would always say something to the effect of, I could never work for anybody. I could never work. I could never work. You still say it.
I would never make it to lunch.
So, it just, for some reason, it just kind of resonated with me. It's like, I don't know if I could ever really have a traditional boss. And I've had traditional bosses, of course, but there's always been this kind of like this deeper need to have to work for myself.
Yeah.
Eventually, because of all the freedoms you talked about.
And the
flexibility.
thing is, when you're in that instance, those instances, you have if you put everything into it, you get everything out of it. Not you putting everything into somebody else's business. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that it's really rewarding when every ounce of effort you put in, you benefit from. So that's the attraction, at least for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people as well. It makes like at times, it's funny. People did ask me like, "How did you get so handy?" And I'm like, "It started with baseball." They look at me funny, like, "What do you mean baseball?" I said, "Well, we used to have these glass, basement windows. There were like 3 pane glass on those windows.
I remember,
used to flip up. So it was kind of near where we would throw the baseball in the backyard. And I cannot tell you how many times that I put the baseball right through one of the panes of those glass. And my father would say, "You broke it. You fix it."
Yeah.
So go get the pane of glass, get the glazing compound, and change it over and over. And I probably
good
lost
at it.
count at the number of times I did it. So, but just doing stuff like that, And it paid dividends.
Where'd you grow up?
North Arlington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And where's that?
North Arlington is the southernmost town in Bergen County.
I worked right across the street from the high school. Not
So
too long
literally,
ago.
it's at what they call the 3 counties area, because you have North Arlington here, then Kearney, which is Hudson County, and just across the river is Belleville, which is Essex County. So that's a 3 county area.
Oh, interesting.
So
North
it's kinda
Arlington
cool.
High School is about the size of this room, isn't it?
It is. North Arlington is to describe it geographically, it's like a pup tent. It's 2 sides of it's this mile square, and 2 sides of it are like this, and Ridge Road is along the top.
Don't you have Queen of Peace down there too?
Yeah, Queen of Peace and North Arlington High School were right on Ridge Road.
Yeah.
And I lived 4 houses away from Queen of Peace Church, and we all went to Catholic school. So I went to Queen of Peace Church, so the grammar school and the high school was behind that. I was late for school almost every day. There was literally 4 houses, from the school. Yeah.
So you went from the southernmost to the
Right,
northernmost.
to one of the northernmost, yeah.
in the county.
Yeah. Well, Michelle's from Park Ridge. So
okay.
I met her, and then I'm like, I don't want to live in North Arlington, so I like Park Ridge. Let's go live in
Where'd you
Park
meet her?
Ridge. At Fatso Fogarty's.
That's so Fogarty's.
She bought Michelle.
But that's all the
owns-
way down there.
Yes. So here's the thing. She didn't really she didn't know of this place, but a lot of girls that work for her, like little Michelle and her sister and stuff, would come there. I mean, I didn't know them at the time, so they're like, "Come on, you got to come out with us one of these times." And she goes down to Fatso Fogarty's with them, and that was not the time we met, but that's her first introduction to Fatso's. So then she was like, "I want to go back." I don't know if she saw me or something like that, but she expressed some kind of interest. And said she wanted to go back, but she didn't know anybody that was going back. She actually called a guy friend that she knew that was going back there to meet a girl. So, and I think I had seen her already, so I think I'd already taken notice of her too. She comes back in, and she sits literally right in front of my station with this guy. So I'm thinking, here's this girl, and she sits right in front of me with this guy. So I find out later that guy's there to meet another girl. And then toward the end of the night, she slipped me her card. It said, "Here's our racket. Come get your Here's our racket." So we come full circle. So that's how that started.
Good move,
nice.
Michelle. Good move.
Yeah, well, for both of us, for sure.
Yeah, it's nice when the lady makes the move.
Because I'm not, even though you're in that lifestyle, the bartending lifestyle, I wasn't that guy. I was never that forward with. I just was uncomfortable doing it.
Yeah.
Especially when you watch some guys, and you're like, how do you talk to people like that?
I know,
You know?
I know.
Just wasn't my style.
It's like having a PBA card and being afraid to use it.
Kind of. Yeah. This stuff. You're hysterical.
But yeah, it takes the pressure off when the female slips at your direction.
So let me ask you a question again. I've mentioned before about like saying how important what I think you're doing is. Are you getting that kind of feedback from people like, hey, this is really important stuff?
A little bit. I mean, it depends. The actual, as I think I mentioned earlier, the episodes themselves, not a ton of traction. That's just kind of like par for the course. It's the chopped up clips that I post on social media that to draw attention to it.
Yeah.
That will occasionally catch fire and
Right.
then start resonating a lot, really deeply with people. And then, then there's like no end in sight. There are a couple clips like that have generated like a lot of really interesting conversation around
Plumbers
these
hate
things.
me.
I mean, yeah, well,
Oh, because of that.
plumbers, yeah.
Okay.
There's some plumbers that hate you right now.
Because put the water on the ground.
Yeah.
That is a cruel move.
One guy said, "I hate you," but that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I laughed a little bit, but I also was part of it was like, Mike, that's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
rough move, dude.
I know, it's rough.
because again, what I do a little bit of everything. So if I
wouldn't do that to
if
you.
I do a bathroom for somebody, there are times like I don't need a plumber, right? Because we're not changing locations. Well, everything's staying the same. Services are all staying the same. If I have to change out, the supplies or the shutoffs or whatever, I can do all that stuff. And again, it's not usually that bad. So one of my greatest fears when I'm doing that is, again, if there's any leaks of any kind, it's on me. So, thank God I never told you that, because I could see him doing that, like putting a couple drops of water inside the new vanity I just put in.
Yeah.
Underneath the shut off under the toilet.
Yes, exactly. Like it almost gave me like nightmares about finding stuff like that. Because
So you
God,
can't screw around with me. I mean,
No, I never was.
doesn't
You're
really
the
leak.
best, Mike. I ever tell you that?
I think you
went,
texted me that once.
It's great to like capture all these like moments and anecdotes and things, as you've seen. But yeah, one of the goals of the podcast is definitely that. Is definitely just to like, draw attention, raise awareness to the trades and how people navigate it and the importance of it and
Absolutely.
how people shouldn't take it for granted if they do, and all the things that we know are true,
Right.
and all the things I grew up seeing.
And the other part, the flip side of what you're doing is exposing people to this, to contractors and stuff like that, and realizing how funny most of these guys are.
Yeah.
There's a sense of humor in everything associated with what we
Yeah.
do. You know what I mean?
It's true.
And I think that helps because, again, at times, sure, it's a little monotonous and, it gets repetitive and
Sometimes problems are good.
yeah,
It breaks the
monotony. That's for
monotony and,
sure.
you're not joking around. You have to fix something.
Yep. Yeah.
And if I mess up, I never throw tools around. Because that's once I did. I can remember exactly where I was. I was doing something screwed up. I was working in the closet underneath, and something happened. I just remember throwing everything out of the closet. But it's the only time that ever happened. Because you waste too much time.
Yeah.
If you mess up,
And
you
now
fix
you're
it.
like you run the risk of possibly having to repair something else
Yeah.
that you just damaged by having your
Yeah.
itsy fit.
Yeah.
But listen,
It's not worth it.
I did that in like one of the flips. Like all of a sudden, there's a hammer flying from one side of the house to the other. But I'm like, this is my house.
Good thing
and
there's
this is-
nobody in between.
What's that?
Good thing there's nobody in between.
Yeah, exactly.
The sense of humor is, but that the environment kind of lends itself to that.
Yeah.
That you guys
The
curate
freedom of it.
the freedom of it. In a corporate environment, there's so much red tape, and you gotta censor
You're not
yourself.
allowed to.
I
I've
mean,
seen that. Like I've never experienced that part of it. And I was going at the time. I think I was saying it before. I was at the time, before we got the salon going. I was at the time going to school for my master's in education at Montclair State. I was going to be a teacher, and the work that was needed at the salon. And when we first opened, I mean, we bought it. 6 months later, we were open, and you don't know how it's going to go. And we opened the salon, and boom. Right,
We didn't
from
get
the
any
start.
permits, did we?
No, we got all.
Oh, we did? I don't
permits.
remember.
Yeah, we had to permit that whole job because the plans were approved by the town.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was an existing
I
non-conforming use.
I remember calling for an inspection.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to
maybe
make
Michelle
something on my-
So you opened up the doors, and then you had.
and it was like gangbusters. And here,
Wow.
I'm working at Fatso Fogarty's. I got a little landscaping business on the side, and I'm going to school at Montclair State for my master's. So I'm like, I got no time. So again, it's gangbusters right from the start. And Michelle's like, you got to call your boss. You got to quit. Fatso's number one. And I don't think there's gonna be time for college either, because again, we were with the hours we were open.
I could picture
was
her saying that too.
Tuesday through Friday. Well, I think Friday was only till 6, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday was 8 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. And that was years with that schedule. And Saturdays were like 8 to 5.
And good thing you didn't have any kids then.
Right. It would have been, almost impossible, because we were both there at the same time. Like she's working at a station that's right there, and I'm behind the desk.
He was
And
the
I know
first guy
nothing
you'd see when you walked into the salon.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
So I knew nothing about the business.
sure.
And she's like, you have to be the guy. I'm like, what do you mean I got to be the guy? I'm like, I can't be the guy. I don't know how to be
No,
the
you
guy.
can fake it, because the people coming in don't know if you're right or wrong.
What I definitely but reinforced what I think I already knew about customer service was, if you care about people, they will continue to be loyal to you. And the thing is, I think we were always really cared about people, knew who they were, knew their names, knew their phone numbers. I knew everybody's phone number that walked in the door at the salon, and it meant something to people.
And they hang on every word that you and Michelle say too.
Well, it's amazing
Because
how many people
half my customers are from Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle, I have to tell you, Michelle has done more because again, she recognizes, here's a great electrician. She didn't say, call this guy, call Mike Newman, call Mike Newman, call Mike Newman, right? And at the time, I think Kevin Ness was our plumber at the time. And, call Kevin. So I can't tell you how much work, but it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Because those customers are like, wow, thank you very much for the recommendation for Mike. And it just reinforces, the relationship we have with that customer now, And so after a while, after 20 years of that, I was like, I got to get back to doing something and even though I was my own boss, essentially, doing something that I really like doing. Something that kind of blew my hair back. So
Right.
It was even great going up to Prattsville. What is it, Prattsville?
Prattsville, yeah. So I got your father up to.
Yeah.
I got out.
He told me, yeah.
I got out of the truck, and the silence was deafening when I first got there. Not a breeze, nothing, not
No
a bird,
jet.
nothing.
Nothing.
And you can see for 50 miles.
It was
Wow.
I said,
wild.
this is great.
And this is another property of yours?
No.
No.
So what I had a customer, and Mike was the electrician on that job in Hillsdale. We did a bathroom it's an old arts and crafts house, kind of difficult space to make into a really nice bathroom, but I think we did a really good job and made it look really good. So they were like, oh, this has turned out so much better than we thought, because it was an eyesore for them for the longest time, and it was the only full bathroom in their house. So the pressure was to get it done fast too, because these people have nowhere to shower.
Sure.
So to turn it as quickly as we could and make it as nice as we could. And when that was finished, they said, hey, we want to just ask you something. They have a house it's Lexington, New York. So it's like 5 miles from Wyndham, 12 miles from Hunter. And they're like, we kind of got stiffed by a contractor, where the contractor had taken the money and walked.
Didn't they have two contractors?
They did.
Yeah.
And one the guy did.
Came and put Band-Aids on it.
Yes. Yeah. And it was like bad Band-Aids.
Yeah.
So anyway, I said, I'll take a ride up and I'll see. And I'm like,
Did you take a ride up there? I guess
took
you
a ride
had to.
first. Yeah, because they showed me pictures, but I'm like, I need to see the scope of the work.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm getting involved in
of work.
before I say yes to this. So, and it was just this big open room that was it's kind of a great room. Stone on the wall where they're going to have a TV, a freestanding wood stove, really nice bathroom, couple closets, mechanical room, and an office. So it's a big space. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. But the idea.
But you're happy you did.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy I did.
I'm happy I went up there too.
Yeah, it was, again, because the place it's a cool area. It's almost like a time warp.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't even a road.
No.
Make a left on Van Etten Road. And I'm looking at it. It was like the moon.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But then you said there was another way to get around.
Yes.
But
And
I
how
didn't
far
know
is
that.
this? How far is this place?
About 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours, 2:15,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But it was worth it.
It was definitely worth it.
And they're super happy, so
That's great.
yeah. There was an interesting dynamic up there too. Seeing, I think we're a little spoiled sometimes because there's sply houses everywhere around here.
Yeah, and
Lowe's or Home Depot.
Well, you were an hour away from the closest Home
The
Depot.
closest Home Depot is an hour away.
Oh wow.
Right.
But driving through those little towns, the only way those people get out of those little towns if they have have a specialty.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're there.
They're a lot. You can tell those people.
It's Woodstock.
It's literally Woodstock. The town of Woodstock is right there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it's interesting to see too, because up there, the the main mountains, the ski mountains, are Hunter and Wyndham has been taken, I think, almost exclusively private. So if you were like we bought a little house that you like to, go up in the wintertime and go skiing and stuff like that. Well, now you got to buy into membership at a mountain, and it's I think it's like $140,000 just for
My God.
right. So.
No.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So it was an interesting thing. It was nice to have Mike up there
Yeah.
and see it. So.
Nice little break from the
Yeah.
monotony.
And the best part was my phone didn't work up there.
Yeah.
It worked on the first floor, and that was it.
I remember I tried calling you, and
Outside,
go right to
I had to go.
right to voicemail.
I had to go climb onto a boulder in order for it to work.
We also, I don't know if you do it with your kids, but we, the Find My, on Apple.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Did it come up?
no, so it was the first time because I'm curious throughout the day. I'll be like, yeah, I wonder where he's at, and I'll see it and I'll call him and be like, hey, how's downtown Westwood doing, or something. And they're like, what? How'd you know? And it's like, oh yeah, you follow me. So that was the first time where
He went.
you were.
I was
MIA.
off the grid.
Totally ghosted,
Right.
I was off the grid.
off
Yeah.
the grid entirely.
There's a lot of that up
So I
there.
was like a little concerned for a moment. It's like,
Yeah, you called mom to find out.
I did.
I
I did.
if I was still on
It
the
should
planet.
It should be the opposite. You should be worried about me.
And you should, the homeowners, like they already knew Mike. And I said, I'm going to see if Mike will go up. And then, oh my God, if he could, try, please get him to go up. I'm like, just to straighten this out.
that's
Because again,
very
a lot of
nice.
work was done that we had to undo to do, if you follow.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the guy had the area where the bathroom's going to be, the slab, he kind of chiseled out the slab because he wanted us a shower floor that you would just be able to walk into the shower, which would have been fine. But when they set the piping for the drain, it was up too high. So I'm like, either I just put a pan in here like I normally do, do a mud job and raise it up, and you have a little bit of a curb to step into the shower, or I have to chisel through all of this concrete to then lower the plumbing. I'm like, you make the decision you want. Just how much money do you want to spend?
What they end up going with?
They just my recommendation, because it was
curb.
It was faster, cheaper, and it came out beautiful. So,
you go.
and they're so happy.
And they forgot to run wires in that bathroom. I think they either ran out or just forgot to.
I'm
I
not
tried to
really-
get things to
it was
work, and it's just
kind
couldn't
of a
get things
mess.
to work.
And there was definitely 2 electricians before Mike that were on this job. So one guy went to a certain point, and the other guy jumped in and went a little further. And I don't think number 1 talked to number 2, and I had to bring in number 3, straighten it
Man,
out.
it was hard. We spent a couple hours in there.
Yeah. So Mike gets everything hooked up, and this doesn't light and that doesn't light.
And then I was short stuff.
yes.
So what I did was I instead of when I went home, I went on Amazon. I had it delivered to him.
Yeah. He delivered me everything I need.
I don't know
Plugged
how
in
that guy
and
made it down there.
done.
Easy.
Yeah, that was
Easy.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of the moment you said this to me before, where you've gone to a job and you've seen old work that actually that his dad did.
Yeah.
That,
Really?
that
Yeah,
you go
I've
into a
changed
panel-
services that my father put in.
Oh, wow. That is cool.
Yeah, and I thought that was an
think that's
interesting moment.
1960, 1965.
You're like, oh, this has got to be ripped out or updated. Like, oh, wait a second. And then there's some indicator that it was. Did they have a decal or a sticker? Like, how would you?
No, I recognized the material that my father used, and I knew who his customers were.
Yeah, that's great.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, and we also like to talk about the innovations that has made your jobs easier over the years.
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys have seen it. Decades go by, and you're like, how did we not have this tool
Right.
this whole time?
like a fine tool.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a game changer, that
Yeah.
tool. Because it allows so many different things.
What is that exactly?
It's an oscillating saw, basically, and again, depending on the blade you put on it, it serves a multitude of purposes. Even you could put like a carpet blade on it, and just, if you rip it, like doing demo, ripping up an old carpet, you just run it right along. There's just so many things you can do with it. So hence it's called, I don't know what the technical term is. I mean, I call it a multi-tool.
Well, yeah, it's a multi-tool because I think Fine was the name of the company.
Yes, Fine was the first one. And again, the ones that Fine made, they were electric. They're not battery operated. They were the best. They're probably still the best ones.
Yeah.
But everybody has them now.
Not Larry Fine from the Three Stooges, but it was.
He had to get that in there.
Yeah. Of course.
It clicked.
See, this is that improv stuff we were talking about.
It just happens.
Yeah.
It's just natural.
That's what he cracks me up.
That's
We're
what
on
it's-
chops. He cracks me up.
That's what it's all about. I think if you'd seen our conversation with Bob Moore, you probably hadn't yet because I just published
I
it.
think. Maybe. Did you see one recently?
Couple clips out there, but
Bob Moore's he's a general contractor.
He's the
Yes.
big guy.
Yeah.
Big
guess.
guy
yeah.
sitting on the couch.
So we went
You gotta
there.
edit that out. Right?
Yeah, for sure. About half the conversation.
We don't
was,
have to.
We can do whatever we
knows?
want. We can do whatever the hell we want. Half the conversation was Bob talking about pranks.
Well, he's
What he's done and what you've done, and just more of the how do we
Well,
bring
you're gonna
levity.
have to cut this, but I use the bucket truck. Mike Catarasso's bucket truck, and he parks it over at the Knights of Columbus. I pay for the parking there
Okay.
and everything. And
Oh,
Bob,
this is great. We don't have to cut this. This
right.
is fantastic.
well, Bob parks his one of his trucks there with his trailer there, and that's how I got involved there. And I pay. It's not my truck, but I pay for parking. I get to use the bucket truck whenever I want. So I had a job today in Northvale, and it's a couple of hours, and I go back. I pull the bucket truck up to my van, and I go to open up my back doors of my truck, and there's a bumper sticker, a magnetic bumper sticker in the back of my door that says the driver is gay.
Big rainbow.
Big rainbow thing. So I said, oh man.
Not that there's anything wrong.
So
with it.
not that
Yeah,
there's anything wrong with that.
Just
So what I did was I
It's just
just stopped
surprising.
what I was
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. Yeah.
I looked around. I had to be him. So I go around. I look, and his truck's still there. So I figured it was him. He just needed something out of his trailer. So I took a picture of myself next to the sign, and I sent it to him. He expected me to be upset. What's there to be upset about? So he went online on Amazon. He bought like a 20-pack of these things, and he puts them on everybody's thing. I go, Bob.
It's the small things. It's like
Yeah, that's a little
those nice
The driver
touches.
is gay. Yeah. So
You see, the thing is, the longer you're on a job with somebody too, the more of the shenanigans that begins to happen. Like if you got a quick hitter or something like that, but when you're on a job with somebody for a long time, this shenanigans can get.
and you look
Pretty
forward to
wild
going.
sometimes.
I mean, I look forward to going
Absolutely.
on your jobs.
Yeah, we have good conversations. We talk about
Yeah.
we talk
about
about good stuff. We're solving the world's problems when
We do.
when we're talking. So.
People just don't listen to us.
right, that's the hard part. We can't seem to get them to listen.
Curious about what I said or what I was speaking to earlier about the turnover in the industry, and then your kids. What are their disciplines? Like, what are they looking to study or get
son
professions?
went to Clemson, just graduated last year. He has been working now for a year. It's over a year now. He's working he works for AXA XL in the city, which is an insurance underwriter, and he's an underwriter's assistant looking to be an insurance underwriter and work in the insurance industry. And at the time, you think to yourself, like, it's, insurance, is that something that really blows your hair back? But he really likes it,
Yeah,
so
it's interesting.
you find something, if you find something you like, it makes going to work a whole lot easier, for sure.
And it's
he
not the
seems to
same
like
thing
it.
every day either.
No. And that's the interesting part for him too, because again, with the advent of AI and how AI is impacting everybody's business, getting to use some of those tools at that corporate level where they have access to the higher, what would you call that? The higher versions of those AI models, like
Unlimited.
what they're able to do, like whether it's Claude or some of the others, and what they're able to do, and embracing that as opposed to being afraid of it, thinking it's going to cost you your job. And I saw and this is kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but that the thought of AI and everybody's saying, it's going to, all these people are going to lose our jobs because of AI. And I forget who put it. Who was the guy that said it? I don't know if it
Was it Gary V?
But basically the way he put it was like, you don't be afraid of AI. Be afraid of the guy who's using AI better
Hold
than
on.
you are. Mm-hmm. Right? That's where your concern should be. So I
That's
thought
right,
that was
because
interesting.
the person who knows AI better than you is the one who's going to replace your job,
Exactly.
not the
So the
AI
person
No,
itself.
not
competing
yet.
with,
This whole
right.
conversation
If they're
is
better
being
at
probably
AI
being
than you
recorded
are,
because I'm
and
wearing a
it's down
mic
to the
around my
two
neck.
of you,
Yeah.
well, guess who's going to continue to work and who's not? So I think they're embracing that as opposed to being afraid of it. And my daughter's still in
No,
college.
Mike's
She's
car will be
got another
fine.
year. She's at Franklin and Marshall. She
Okay.
plays for the basketball team. She's on the track team. So when we're
got
getting there.
time.
She's going the medical path. So,
Okay.
she wants to be a PA. So
All right.
yeah. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
I just realized that conversation
Yeah.
was probably recorded.
Yeah, but
because
we
I'm
weren't
wearing
talking over each other, so it worked.
Yeah.
But the thing about like your son in insurance too, it makes me think about what I was doing right out of college, and if I looked at my life then versus now, it's just it's so different what I'm doing now versus then, and then everything in between was so varied and diversified in terms of a profession.
Right.
During
and
all
what
that
did
time,
you? What were
too.
you studying in college? You thought you were going to do?
Yeah, I went to University of Delaware and I got a business degree, marketing, international business.
Okay.
And when you're in that echo chamber, for better or for worse, in that business school, everyone around you we're going the traditional corporate path equals success equals happiness equals all the things that come with it in the tri-state area, more or less. And so I'm here thinking, okay, I got to get an internship at a company and I have to put in the hours and I have to do the decades of work and wear the shirt and tie.
Right.
That's kind of what everyone around me was doing who had graduated or people had come back, and just which area. And okay, marketing was the most creative business discipline you can pursue.
Right.
My interests were more in the creative side. I'd done music and art,
Right.
and that was really kind of like those were my hobbies. Business was like, okay, do I want a career that's lucrative or
Right.
not? Okay, I got to go into this direction.
But it would allow you to use that other
It would, yes.
facets of your life that you thought were important.
That's right.
That's
right.
to you. You know
Yep,
what I mean?
the things that kind of get me out of bed in the morning. And so
Right.
I got an internship at MTV, which was great because of him, actually, because of a client. He went to somebody's. It always comes back to him. He goes to. I think you went to tell me about. Oh, that's an amazing story. Ed Moyer.
Ed Moyer.
Ed Moyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ed Moyer was Howard
know that.
Stern's publicist.
Okay.
And I worked in his house in Oradell. He was a great guy. He was
Passed
so
away
fun.
maybe 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah, I think while we were away, he passed away. But he was amazing. He was Howard's key to get into everything. They'd go to a restaurant, and they were closed. And Ed would bang on the window. Oh, it's Ed. Ed, come on in. And he'd bring Howard and everything with him. But he was a nice guy. And we redid his whole house, too, in Oradell.
So he got you an
and
interview?
yeah.
His daughter worked at
His
MTV.
daughter, too.
Okay.
And that's how I got him into MTV.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Well,
remember.
You got the intro, but
Yeah.
that's the other thing I tell all
true.
these kids. I'm like, just if you get the intro, it's up to you now.
That's true.
And because you'll get there, but how do you stay there? That's all on you.
You're right. You're right.
So
Yeah, it's not all who you know. I mean, there's an element of that, but
who
yeah,
you know
have to
just
stand on
opens
your
the
own
door,
Yeah, then you got
but
to
it
prove
doesn't
yourself.
keep you in the place.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
right.
Yeah, so I went there I worked at MTV for a couple of years, and I just wasn't really resonating with the path I was on. I wasn't in a.
He wasn't happy when he came home from work.
I wasn't
Right.
very happy, and I really kind of just wanted to go to California. I wanted to see what else was
Why
was
not?
out there. And
And you do this when you're young.
the
He
warm
woke up
weather.
one day and said, I'm going to California.
Yeah, I was 24, and so I went.
And why not?
Yeah,
See ya.
One off the payroll.
yeah. So I've done a bunch of
Oh,
different
he was the
stuff.
last one. Everybody else was
Yeah,
gone.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, a bunch of different stuff, in the career world. But yeah, I mean, I haven't had to really put a resume together in over 10 years or so.
There you go.
I've lived the startup culture, the startup life
Sure.
for the better part of
I never put a resume together.
2 decades.
In my years.
Well,
Yeah.
the startup life, not for nothing, that's been it's pervasive. Everybody's involved in the startup culture because, again, if it hits, it's life changing.
Yeah.
So you got to keep trying. If the one doesn't hit, you got all right, there's other avenues, there's other paths to make this happen. So, and persistence pays off. It truly does. Persistence pays off. So,
The only interview I ever went on was I worked for the Bergen County Sewer Authority as an electrician, which is now the Utilities Authority.
right.
I went to my interview wearing a suit. I think it was my bar mitzvah suit, but it's the only suit I had. It was a little tight, but I went there, and nobody interviews at the Sewer Authority. I'm not Ed Norton. I went in a suit to get a job with the Sewer Authority, and I got the job.
It was the suit.
With
the
the
suit
suit.
did it. Especially the
And then
suit.
the other job when I worked for Blasberg Electric, I've seen Jed Blasberg's truck around occasionally. I had a full beard down to here and hair down to here. I said, this guy's not going to hire me. I met him. His beard was down to here and his hair was down to here.
There's something about you I like.
Oh,
great.
man. Don.
How many years ago was that?
I was 19.
19, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, about 10.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So,
Yeah, it sounds like based on everything you've said, it's like you just had this entrepreneurial career, just one thing after another. Take the skill sets you learn here, apply them here, learn this, take those to the next thing,
Yeah, absolutely.
move on. I'll put everything that you have into it so you get the most out of it. And I think it's just such a
And the
really cool.
Same thing I said
trajectory.
about like when being at the salon is making sure that the customer is happy. You listen, you can't make every customer happy, but what's that phrase? The customer's not always right, but the customer's always the customer. So you do your best to make them as happy as you can, and there's a lot of satisfaction in that.
I always say the customer's always right no matter how wrong they are.
Exactly. Well, that's a different way of delivering, but the same message. So,
It's true.
but they want what they want. They're the customer.
It's
so
true.
I went on a call
eventually
yesterday.
going to pay. So,
Yeah, I went on a call Father's Day. The lady called me. Well, she's 90. She just turned 90. But I went on a call just keep her happy.
yeah,
That's a nice house back over there.
that's
So
new.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Was there one there before?
Yeah, so that house sold, I want to say, for 1.3. They knocked it down.
Wow. Yeah, they do
Put
that.
that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So that
we
house
are
is
in the
going to
slums.
go, and I'm shocked at where I see house values are now. Knowing what we paid and what is being paid for some of these houses now. And again, look at the size of that house. The house is huge.
It's huge.
And they're using like expensive materials, expensive windows, expensive details.
Roof, yeah.
And there's somebody in there now.
I think it's just the workers.
Yeah.
It's just recently the electric.
It's all glass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, people live in glass houses.
What was
in
there
glass
before?
buildings.
Just a simple split that was used as a rental for years. It was occupied by a young couple when we first moved in, probably the same age we were. And then they sold it to somebody else, and it was a rental. And it just kept turning over. So,
Very nice.
yeah.
I guess maybe parting words. I was thinking about, if there's something you could say to maybe some people who are considering getting into the trades, or getting into something in a line of work similar to yours, and they're watching, what's a good kind of nugget of wisdom that might.
I think they should just don't be afraid to try something. I think so many people are almost paralyzed by the fear of failure. Like, just give it a shot. Because it could really change your life.
Yeah.
If you, whatever it happens to be. And I know enough kids now that they went the college path. A very good friend of mine, his job, he's got an HVAC company, right? His son went to school and got his degree. And again, he wasn't getting a job in exactly the field he wanted to get into. And he's going to HVAC school. He's going to become an HVAC.
Is that John?
Yeah, yeah. So, and the thing is, there's less, as much as we say there's the less and less electricians all the time, less and less plumbers. HVAC guys are in demand, in demand.
24/7.
I mean, there's Mike Rowe, the guy who does
Dirty Jobs?
Dirty Jobs, and he's got I forget what his podcast is called, but it's about a lot of the same things that we talk about, and the problem in the industry, and the fact that how much they said, like 7 million men between the ages of like 19 and 40 or whatever. I don't have the numbers exactly right. Have left the job market, have left and never to return. There are no plans on returning to the job market. That's a problem. Like, think about, okay, with the demand, they're saying that we need for AI, 500,000 electricians are needed just to try and meet the demand of what right, 500,000.
If I was younger, it'd be a lot
Half
different.
a million. Like some of these guys that are going to work on these jobs, they're going to make six-figure jobs, 300,000, $350,000 jobs. So I'm like,
Wow.
so before you're so dead set on spending $200,000 on an education that your rate of return is not going to, it's not worth the investment for that. Think about the trades. Think about being an electrician or a plumber. Again, kid that comes out as a plumber in a couple of years, he's going to be making well over $100,000 a year.
Oh, can I thank Michelle on this for the work she's given me?
You could do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
absolutely.
That was great, by the way. I totally agree. You gotta try it.
You want to say to some of these kids, like, it's right. The answer's right here for you.
Yeah.
And don't be
Just
afraid to
take
start
it.
at the bottom.
Yeah, everybody starts at the bottom. Everybody, right?
Yeah, it's
so,
true.
And I do. Like, I try. Whenever I talk to kids, and I've done commercial work in the city, and I've done commercial work in other places, and I talk to some of these young kids, and they're like, I don't know if I want to stick with it. I'm like, dude, trust me when I tell you, just stick with it. You're so close. You're already there, right? You're a journeyman at this point. You're so close to making, a very nice life for yourself, to be able to have a family, have children and stuff like that, and be able to afford all that.
To get out of your own way, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Perfect.
I'll never forget during COVID when we were in California, there was a guy in my development that he had his own business, his own salon. And I was walking by one day and he had a chair set up in his garage. I said, you think you can cut my hair? He goes, sure. He only cut black people's hair.
Give you a high and tight, Mike.
Oh my God.
He had triangles, I think.
What he did to me, and then
You get a
remember
couple slits
Patsy,
in your eyebrow.
our neighbor, Patsy, our neighbor, she's dead now, but she saw me, and I think that's what killed her. She was crying, she was laughing so loud. I mean, remember white walls?
Yeah.
I had white walls
Oh my
coming
God.
up, and I didn't have a mirror to see what he was doing. I just looked at the
I
floor,
think
and
that was probably purposeful.
I wore a hat for 2 months.
That's right.
Oh God, it was so funny. That was
I
hysterical.
tell you, Michelle, in her chair, it's amazing what she's done in that chair for people. I can't tell you how many houses we've sold for people just from, the conversations that we have. They're like, hey, I'm thinking about selling a house. And we're like, wait a minute, somebody I just talked to, 2 haircuts ago, they're looking for a house, and you kind of put them together.
Yeah.
And, it was great. Like Michelle's, it was called Michelle's after Michelle. And it was like a nice little community of people that just kind of looked out for each other. So, and we had girls that worked for us for 25 years, 24 years, 27 years.
Is little Michelle still there?
Yeah, she's not there at the salon anymore. Somebody, we still own the building. Somebody bought the business, and Michelle stayed on as an independent contractor there. But after a while, our girls that were there, and there was, I think, when we left, we still had like 11 or 12.
Is
Maybe
Suzanne
more,
still there?
14 girls that were still there when we sold the business, and not soon after they left, because they were like, this isn't like it used to be.
little different.
So yeah.
How about
Again,
what's
that's
the name?
when somebody buys a business, that
changes.
up to their way of
Yeah.
running things. No, for me to argue, just pay your rent. And
Sure.
whatever they care.
Yeah.
So
It's something, psychologically, there's something really different when you sit in a chair, when you get your hair cut. You just open up.
it's a lot like bartending. Like when you bartend,
You're
when
so
people,
right. Yeah, that's true.
it's very
Same
simple
thing.
because people confide in you, and like if you step away from if you were having a conversation with somebody across the bar, if you were able to step aside yourself and look at that conversation and be like, why is that guy telling the bartender this stuff? And again, I don't know if it's because you meet so many people and you've experienced so many circumstances yourself that you actually have some good advice for these people, you know. And people are just kind of reaching out at that point. They just want a friendly ear to kind of listen to what they're saying, and it's very similar sitting in a hair chair,
I'm sure it is.
you know. So, and I've seen
sometimes
both
they-
sides of it. So,
And sometimes I mean, I've been to a barber once where I was drinking in the
Right.
chair.
Yeah.
So it's just even,
Yeah,
you know, more exaggerated.
right. So, you think you're gonna open up a fork?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
It's
So,
very
I think
cool.
that's which is, you know, both Michelle and I, two different paths, and yet had similar
Right, you're
interactions
very
with
similar.
people. So, you know, it's been great. It's been fun. Now, listen, it's allowed us to have all the things that we had, and you know, basically it boils down to a hairdresser and a barber. I mean, a hairdresser and a bartender, I should say, have done okay for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, but it was the trades that make the difference.
Right.
So,
That's an amazing story.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's great. Well, I was probably going to call her this week for a haircut. So
there you go.
I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, okay.
Anything else?
No, I'm done.
You said it seems like there was something else you wanted to say.
Well, there's always something else I want to say, but
Well, what's the next thing you wanted to say?
I was going to say something, but I forgot.
You're going to remember in
Do you
5
remember
minutes.
meeting Michelle for the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was down. I was at the club, and I think she was just looking at her, because I did a lot of work in her place.
Yes.
I remember there was a panel in the back, and that's where it was. It was down there. I think she was walking around with Steve at the time.
Yeah. It was like, I mean, the racquetball
Steve
courts were on
introduced- 'cause I
either
did-
side of it.
Yeah.
And there was just this big open kind of milling about area that was it. So they decided, let's put something here.
Yeah, Steve introduced me to her.
So they put up it was just, basically a strip. And there was an office at the back end of it. That's where the panel was
Yeah.
in the back.
And that office was a mess when it wasn't a salon.
Yes. And you know Michelle. Michelle's like, everything's got to be in its place. So so it worked out really well. I mean, Steve was a great owner at the time. I don't think he was he the owner then?
I think he might have still been sweeping floors.
Right. But he was a good dude. He's a good dude.
And he still is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He looked out for Michelle, you know.
Yeah,
So,
he looks out for a lot of people. He's a good guy.
pretty good guy.
Well, yeah. Thanks again for having us. This is really
This
great.
was my
This is
pleasure.
great.
It's
Yeah,
just
this
nice to
relax.
nice to be outside, but I
Yeah.
think this actually turned out pretty
Oh,
nice.
we could.
to
I
be in
mean,
here.
we could do it again too
Yeah.
at any point in future. And
Yeah, we'll have to see about that.
We're gonna
See
be.
what kind of reception you get after talking to me.
I'm sure it'll be
might
fine.
be a problem.
She'll be
so.
fine. Well, I got 4 of these, so maybe Michelle could come on. We can go do it.
At the salon.
That
the
would
salon,
be
or,
entertaining. That's for sure.
set it up there.
Yeah.
After hours or something. We all
And
set
again,
up in some
all
chairs.
right. So let me just a little food for future thought. Again, the girls that were with us for a long time, like it's an industry that lends itself to transient employees. They come and go. They come and go. They come and go. Well, our girls didn't come and go because you treat them right. You teach them that this job isn't a joke. You could make good money doing this if you take it seriously. It's like anything else. You take your job really seriously, and you work hard, you'll succeed. Because my father said it, and it's a well-worn phrase: the harder you work, the luckier you get, and or you make your own luck, right? So that side of it, I think, would be, to let people know, like, this isn't a joke. If you take this seriously, you'll do very well.
I think that would be great. Yeah.
So again,
Keeping
food
those
for thought.
lessons. Oh, totally. Let's put that. Let's pen that in the list.
There you go.
We'll make it happen.
It's
a great idea.
Mike there from the start,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And knowing Michelle long before I knew Michelle. So
Well, thanks again. This was cool.
it was my
fun.
pleasure, and thank you for coming to the house.
Beautiful
Yeah.
house.
Thank you.
Pleasure to
Thank
hang
you.
out in.
And we're in the room that wasn't touched.
That's right.
Except for the floor. I put the floor in. So other than that, and painted the ceiling.
But you
that's-
covered it.
But it's
that
got a
wasn't, that
unique-
wasn't me. That was my wife.
Oh, okay.
So
Got a unique charm to it.
it is like we were really, because we liked the age of the house, and there was a lot of antiques. It's a house that lended itself to antiques, and we liked antiques, and it's kind of nice in a way because the antiques had gone so far out of fashion that nobody wanted them anymore, and like really some really beautiful pieces just were getting thrown away or painted, or painted furniture and stuff like that. But it's all like the harvest gold and the avocado green. It's all coming back again.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the collectibles industry.
Yeah.
Well,
in
that
and of
ice
itself.
cooler that I bought for you in California.
I mean, yeah, that was
avocado green.
Avocado green, and people love that. Caitlin loved that cooler. But the collectibles industry, namely, is just the biggest it's ever been.
Right.
And that also extends to
You should see
antiques.
Gruber's house in the inside. You know Mike Gruber?
Yeah.
My neighbor. Oh my God, what's in there? I mean, he's leaving me the contents of the house. It's I've started taking
trains
inventory.
alone.
The trains alone, yeah.
Yeah.
But
These old warship components.
yeah, that ship in the front window.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Binnacle. You know what a binnacle is?
No.
It's a they were on ships to help navigate across the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
It's got weights in it. It's got two big bolts. I'll show it to you.
Well, I'll be looking at it
He'll
for
put
sure.
it on the post if you get there, right? You'll put a picture of the binnacle there.
Yeah.
But that, and he's just got stuff in there. Unbelievable.
That's a unique guy.
He'd be a great guy to interview with.
Yeah, but he would be in a diaper.
10 years ago.
Right. Well, you took me over to his house. It's longer ago than that.
Yeah.
10 years. And I was just amazed by the guy. I'm like,
Well, he had the crossbucks in the front lawn, for the trains.
Yeah.
And what the crossbuck is.
Yeah.
You pull up to a train track,
course,
and it's a pole. You got railroad says, and you got lights that go like
Yeah.
this. Well, I wired it up, and we put a motion sensor on it. So whenever anybody drove down the street, it was going bing, 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 and the lights were flashing. That only lasted a couple of days.
yeah.
I can imagine.
Did somebody complain?
It's not even there anymore.
No,
He
it's
ended
not.
up selling it, but he got it from somebody in Tennessee.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a
He would
it's a
be a good.
museum.
He would be a good guy, but you'd have to yell because
Well, he put the elevators
God.
in the World Trade Center.
Wow.
he was
So
the head guy.
That'd be an amazing. I'd love to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
But
He tells me-
unfortunately, he's just not very coherent.
Sentient enough, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's coherent. I mean, he understands everything, but you have to yell.
Okay.
He knows
I
everything.
might throw off the audio.
Yeah, might have to dial the.
When I go home,
Up and down.
Yeah.
I have a sore throat. I'm there every day. I come home, I have a sore throat every day. Maybe that's why
You do yell a lot when you're there.
And he's just he knows everything. Like even yesterday, I mean, don't come by. I know you're going to your daughter's house. When I had told him a couple of days before, he doesn't forget anything.
Right. Huh.
But the stories he's
He's
told
in
me
his
stories.
90s, is he?
He's 90. He just turned 92 in April.
92.
Sharp as a tack. His full head of red hair, not one gray hair on his head.
Wow.
People say, "Do you color your hair?" He doesn't
then
even
he's-
know what
Was
color.
he never married or something? I'm just
He was
kidding.
married for a
Don't
couple of
tell my
weeks.
wife I said
No, Wait, let me see the top of your head.
that. Yeah. Hello.
He was married for a couple of weeks.
There you go.
And then you see someone like Clint Eastwood, who's like still making Hollywood films at 97, 98,
Amazing.
96.
Amazing guy.
Amazing. He's an American treasure.
The
Absolutely.
Mule is one of my favorites, and
Gran Torino.
Gran Torino. And even though they're later,
You know, I didn't shake his hand, but I did talk to him once.
Mm-hmm.
I was an extra background actor on Jersey Boys,
Oh, okay.
which was the
Yeah.
the Broadway show that they turned into a film,
Right.
like in 2014.
Yeah.
Uh,
Those guys were all all the guys in that band were all friends with my father and my uncle and stuff like that.
Oh,
really,
oh,
Jersey?
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
right.
yeah. Frankie.
Yeah.
And wow.
And Bob Gaudio was friends with my uncle Dan, who's my father's older brother. Because again, they were all from Belleville, Bloomfield. That's where the Ward side of the family is from, that area. The Sullivan side, which is my mother's side, was from North Arlington. So that's how they met.
Wow.
They met at Queen of Peace High School. That's where they
I guess
met each other.
Joe Pesci too, right? Was
Yeah,
he?
absolutely.
Yeah, he's part because he's portrayed in the film too.
Yep.
Doesn't he own a property not too far from you?
He sold that house finally, and they knocked it down quick. It was this god awful. It looked like a mausoleum.
Yeah,
Not literally.
like gaudy.
Thinking how mausoleum is like, they've got the two big buildings that kind of have all the crypts and everything
Sure,
in them.
yeah.
And then there's that rounded top that you kind of walk
Yeah.
through the center, the atrium.
Almost like a mosque.
That's literally what his house looked like. Because it was on West One
way.
Island in Lavalette.
Yeah, not
and
too-
it took up two pieces
It's on the
of
other
two
side of the
properties.
bay, right?
Yes.
Where we're bay
Yeah.
on that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the bay side. So you would never see it from like anywhere on Lavalette or the island itself. If you went out onto the water or got onto the island, you'd see it. And literally, this big barrel type ceiling. It was so bad.
It didn't belong there.
And everybody was like, "Well, when is he going to sell this house? When is he going to
knock
sell
that
the
to shit down."
And he knocked it down. They put up 2 beautiful houses.
Oh, that's great.
So,
the Pesci estate is no longer.
Is no longer. So
Yeah, I was an extra, and I met him in a small room about this size with like 3 or 4 other background actors. We were there
you had to be starstruck.
incredibly starstruck. We were on the Warner Brothers lot. It was made to look like Manhattan, 1951. Wow. So we're all wearing the clothing. I had my fedora, shoes, the whole nine. Everything was authentic. I think only the shirt I had wasn't from the time, the undershirt. And it was this big cityscape scene where people are just walking around, hustle bustle, like taxis going by, and they yell action, and then all these classic cars start. You start smelling the gasoline, right? And they're all start going down the street, and he yells action, and we're all walking in our things, and it was the scene where the all 4 of them, the Jersey Boys, were walking into the record studio, the record company, to go talk about getting a record deal in the city. But beforehand, when everyone's prepping and we're all kind of standing our ground, we're just waiting. Out of nowhere, he walks into this little room that we're in, which is just kind of like this backlot thing, like a totally exposed, nothing finished. The external is finished. Looks like a store,
like a false front on the
false
store.
front, exactly. Yeah. And it's just backstage.
Wow.
And he walks in and he looks around at all of us and he's like, "You look good." Yeah. "You look good." And I was like, "Thank you."
And how old at that point? Like, when was that made? Now
2014. So
12 years ago.
12
wow.
years. So he must have been in like early 80s.
83.
Early 80s, yeah.
Yeah. And not for nothing, even when he was in his 80s, he didn't look like he was in his 80s.
No.
Yeah.
No. And he was there, intimidating, and
Was he with Christopher Walken?
and then another day, I did a couple days on that movie.
Really?
There was Christopher Walken is in the film.
Mm-hmm.
He plays, I think, a mob boss.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he's there's this club scene where the Jersey Boys aren't quite the Jersey Boys yet, but they're in this small club and they're doing this number on stage, and I'm in a table, 2-top, me and my date, and we're sitting there. We're in the first row, right by the stage, and in the corner, right by the side booths in this club section. And in that first side booth was Christopher Walken, the actress playing his wife, and a few other people, and the scene is they I think they already got like the guys on stage. So at this point in the day, they were getting Christopher Walken's reaction. So the camera setup, everything was facing Christopher Walken while the guys are playing on stage, and it's a slow rack-in shot. So it's ever so slowly going in while they're playing, and it's supposed to. The song that they're playing is supposed to trigger Christopher Walken's emotion. His character is supposed to make him remember his mother.
Oh, wow.
And so he's supposed to get a little choked up and so they only do 2 takes, and the first take he does it, he starts crying, and his wife is like consoling him a bit, and they did it and they cut it, and he didn't really feel real good about it, so he got out from behind the booth and he walked out, and mind you, I'm watching this happen 5 feet from me.
Yeah.
And don't forget,
and it's
not
his
only
process,
him,
right?
it's the camera moving in, and right in the back of the camera is Clint Eastwood, right? So you got Clint Eastwood, Christopher Walken, as close as you guys are to me right now, but over here, I'm watching it go down, and so by the way, Clint Eastwood doesn't yell, like he doesn't raise his voice at all. Mm-hmm. So before the day even started, one of the assistant directors got all the background, like hundreds of us all together in a big room or outside on the lot, and he was like, "Hey, just so you know, like this is a very quiet, very low energy set. We need to keep it that way because Clint doesn't yell action, he doesn't yell cut, he just says okay. He says, it's just it's jarring for people. It's like people are used to this energy, and he brings in this kind of like calming energy." And so they do 1 take. It's according to Christopher Walken, wasn't great. He kind of it looked like he didn't feel like he did a great job. So he goes off stage. He's nowhere to be seen for like 10 minutes. He comes back on. He's like, all right, I'm ready to do it again. He does it again, nails it, and Clint Eastwood says, okay, we got it. And then immediately afterwards, he's got like tears down his face. Christopher Walken stands up and goes, drinks on me, everybody, drinks on me. He's so proud he got that moment in, and he's just such a professional.
And needed to get out of that moment.
That's
quickly.
right. That's right. It was just such a legendary moment.
How cool is that? Really, man. Clint Eastwood
Yeah.
coming in on Christopher
Slowly.
Walken. How cool is
This
that?
enormous camera slowly on the
Rails.
on the rails, creeping forward. It was just,
Oh, wow.
and it was the first acting gig I ever had in my entire life.
Talk about surreal, huh?
Absolutely surreal. I thought I made it, and I didn't. But I got a couple $100 a day.
Well, you're this close.
But I was that close physically to these
to
people.
greatness. That's great.
Yeah. If you ever watch the movie, there's a couple moments you can
I
see.
have to now. So
There are a couple moments you can see. But
Yep.
I'd have to be there. You blink and you miss me.
that's all right. We'll keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks. Thanks again.
An
Good job,
absolute pleasure
Paul.
to have you here. So,
Such a pleasure
and
to be
again,
here.
I think what you're doing is important.
Thank you very much.
And I'm
Infinite?
hoping that
Oh,
it gets
important. I thought you
the
said
traction
infinite.
it deserves. What's that?
I thought you said infinite. Not,
No. Impotent?